I have to stun him. Okay.
Not long for this world.
There.
Fields of
Alright.
ash
GG.
and chasms of flame shall restore her glory. Your affliction upon her will soon be erased.
This will make a difference.
Easy. Hey guys, what is going on? King Konga here with a very budget-friendly build, super budget-friendly. I mean, so budget-friendly that I am playing it in solo self-found and it's melting everything. As you can see, you cannot trade in this league. This is my character. This is my gear. Everything's self-found. And I am absolutely farming T15 maps. I am killing bosses, as you can see. We're almost at the highest difficulty of Xest. We've killed the Arbiter of Ash, all that good stuff. So if you have very limited budgets, or if you just want to play solo self-found, this could work really well for you. And Polky's kind of hard to get. So we figured out a way to make a Titan that has the Herald of Ice and Herald of Lightning proc of each other. So this is awesome for all the Titans out there that don't have a lot of time. Mace Strike with Calling Strike. This is just to finish off some boss. You'll barely ever see yourself using your Mace Strike. Stampede is your clear with Close Combat, Martial Tempo, Momentum, Heft, and Ice Bite. Then we got Hammer of the Gods. You'll only use this on elites and bosses. But we're using Lacerate, Deep Cuts, Fist of War, Heavy Swing, and Concentrated Effect. The Bleed is basically just for endgame bosses. So the Bleed doesn't really do that much during mapping, but because it's already so strong, it should one-shot any elite anyways. Herald of Ice. This is really important that you have a lot of cold damage. So I get my cold damage from my weapon, even though it doesn't have any cold damage. But if it does have cold damage, then you don't need these gloves. But if you have a weapon with fire damage, so you either need strong fire damage or strong cold damage. So for the people with fire damage, then you get the Blue Flame Bracers, which turn 100% of fire damage converted to cold damage. So this is really important. You need a lot of cold damage. And then you can use Herald of Ice with Magnified Effect, Lightning Infusion, Conduction, Innervate, and Cold Penetration. So as you can see, Lightning Infusion, Conduction, Innervate is so that you start shocking a lot. We have a lot of lightning damage on here, which is really important because otherwise Herald of Thunder will not work. And Herald of Thunder has Cold Infusion, Glaciation, Primal Armament, and Lightning Mastery, which also then again causes me to do a lot of cold damage and a lot of cold buildup, and therefore they proc off each other and start clearing screens, which is really good. Infernal Cry, here we have Premeditation, Ingenuity, Raging Cry, and Murderous Intent. Murderous Intent for that Culling Strike, really awesome. Seismic Cry, doesn't really matter. Raising Cry and Rage War Cry, it's kind of whatever. You just want to have Seismic Cry. And then here we have Overwhelming Presence. This is kind of optional. Like these two, Grim Feast and Overwhelming Presence, are optional. If you have enough spirits, I mean, I have a lot of spirits because of my gear, but if you can, then fit in Overwhelming Presence and Grim Feast only if you have a series Disdain. Otherwise, it's pointless. So yeah, Overwhelming Presence with Herbalism and Cannibalism, and Grim Feast with Precision. If you have Precision and enough dex, then you do not need Resolute Technique. But if you don't have the room to fit in Precision, then you need to have Resolute Technique. So keep that in mind. Okay, let me... loading screens everywhere. All right, let me go back here. By the way, so if you cannot put in these two because of lack of spirit, then you do have to put Cannibalism in either Herald of Thunder or Herald of Ice. Because otherwise, you're going to have a hard time sustaining your health. Because this one is your health sustain with the 4% life recovered on kill. Really important to have Cannibalism, always. So, for mapping, you want to have your Leap Slam. Leap Slam with Holy Descent. And if you're not mapping and you're doing a boss, then you put in Earthshatter together with Upheaval, Ruthless, Overpower, and Font of Rage. This is only for bosses. So Earthshatter, basically what you do, you put these down, and then you use a Seismic Cry. This causes so much stun buildup on bosses. This is the strongest stun buildup ability. You put these things and you cry. You really want to quality this. And to be honest, you really want to quality Stampede first. You want to quality Herald of Ice, Hammer of the Gods, and earthshatter. Earthshatter also really strong to quality. If you hold Alt, it can show you what happens if you quality it. So it's really important that you try to quality everything, but those have an absolute priority. So yeah, those are the gems. Then let's go to the passives. We are a Titan. We go for Hulking Form, Earthbreaker, and Mysterious Lineage. While you're leveling, you start with Crushing Impacts. Then eventually, when you have two of them, two Ascendancies, then you take those out and put in Hulking Form. And the third one is Earthbreaker, and the last one is Mysterious Lineage. You go the usual route, take all the damage. You go for Singular Purpose. You go for Aftershocks. You go for Unbending. You go for Resolute Technique. You want to go for Shattering Blow. And this one is important. Read carefully what it says. Only take this if you can also take these three. And then eventually this one. In the beginning, this is a lot of points. So what you can do is take these three. And then because you're up here anyways, then you go further up here and take another two. Because if you don't have Hulking Form yet, then these are 20. And these will be 20 as well. So you need these 5 to make it 100%. And then if you read break over here, this is needed because elites and bosses will only break once. And because this one breaks 50%, it gets doubled by these 5 and then it's 100%. So therefore, Shattering Blow with these is really important because I see a lot of people making that mistake and then they do no damage. You want to go for Blood Magic because otherwise it's just, yeah, not very chill to play. You want to go for Offensive Stance for all the block, but also for the extra damage. And as an Anoint, you want to take Lay Seeds on your amulet. You want to go for the Aftershocks here. You want to go for Brute Strength and Giant's Blood. This one's really important. Triple the attribute requirements though. So if you have a weapon that says 147, then you need to do 3 times 147, and then you know how much strength you need to use it. You can lower the requirements by taking these 3 points. And you're going here anyways because you want Polymathy. And then you take these 3 reductions. That's a total of 18% less attributes required. And you can also go for Jack of all trades, which gives you a lot of damage. Then, what enables the build is the stun and freeze buildup. You really want to have all of these, to be honest. I only have a few now, but the next 2 levels are definitely going in here to make the playstyle a bit easier. This allows you to really have enough freeze buildup to have these 2 proc of each other. If you don't have this, it basically doesn't really work. Then you can also go for more elemental damage here and even more freeze buildup. I'm not entirely sure if this is needed yet. I have been playing with it. It seems to be doing the job. It's pretty good. But maybe just these 2 and then not take those and put them elsewhere. This is really nice. Acceleration, skill speed, and movement speed. Movement speed is absolutely insane. There's more movement speed here as well. I eventually want to take that, but I'm not sure yet. And yeah, Maiming Strike is also pretty good. So a lot of value in this area. I'm taking all the sockets, of course. If you can get movement speed, that's great. Movement speed is amazing. Damage to elites is also really good. And I have a lot of rates on hit, block, damage when enemies have fully broken armor is really good because we break armor all the time. So yeah, as you can see, block chance, rates on hit, block chance here as well. All this kind of stats. Just look for some area of effect is also really good. I'm basically just using what I get. And yeah, it is pretty easy to get some decent ones. Most of the stuff works. You probably noticed there's also some green stuff here and there. These are only active when I switch to my second set. So what I basically do when I go to a boss, so like a boss, I grab my weapon, put it in the second slot, and same for this. So now we have the second set active. As you can see, Some stuff has been deactivated, so like this. I don't need stun threshold against bosses. I've never gotten stunned on a boss yet, so I remove that for bosses. I remove all this freeze buildup and all the elemental damage, and even these, the skill speeds, don't need them for bosses. And instead I went for all the bleeding. There's also more bleeding over here. Currently I don't have 100% bleeds, but I'm working on it. I'm still figuring stuff out. As you can see, I still have 8 points that I can move around. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet. Maybe I'll take those out. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, you want to go for these bleeding. You want to go for these bleeding. You want to go for these bleeding. And yeah. So basically what you do, the boss, you heavy stun the boss eventually. So the boss heavy stuns. Then you seismic cry. And then you do the second way. Sorry, you infernal cry, seismic cry, and then you hammer the boss. That's it. That's all you have to do. It should always do 2 and sometimes even a third. And the bleeding should basically finish off the boss in 1 hit. Usually. If you do it correctly. But yeah, that's the passive tree. Let me change it back again. The gear. So, important on a weapon. Just get as much damage as possible. Get some attack speed if possible. Get some melee skills as possible. But you just want to have either a lot of fire damage or a lot of cold damage on it, so that you can at least proc your Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. So if you have a fire weapon, you need the gloves. If you have a cold weapon, you don't need the gloves. You can put anything else like Hova or any yellow glove or anything else that suits your needs. I have ranks with some strength, dex, and int. Got pretty lucky with this one for solo self-founds. Try to get some rarity, some damage, some life. You get the idea here as well. You know, just some stats, some rarity, some damage. Here I got some chaos resist. Here you just want to get a lot of movement speed on life. Try to get some plus melee skills, some life, some rarity, some spirit if possible on your amulet. Chest I got super lucky with. Get as much all resist as possible. And if you have a Morior with life and all attributes, or life and all elements, sorry, not attributes. It's either attributes and elements or life and elements. So those are your 2 choices. But if you can, if you don't have it, you can just go for a yellow chest with life, spirits, fire resist, cold resist, lightning resist, you know, the usual. Helmets as well. Use what you can use. If you don't have a serious disdain, then just get something with lots of strength, resistances, life, the usual stuff. And a shield, all you need really is as much block chance as possible. As much block chance as possible and a decent chunk of life. And then try to get some attributes and resistances. Just try to get your resistances capped. You don't have to go exactly the same gear as I do. You just use what you can use and make sure your stats get rounded to like the caps. I mean, my chaos is not capped, but chaos doesn't happen as much as the other things, and it's usually something you should be able to avoid. But yeah, obviously you want to cap it, but this is solo self-found, so we do what we can. We do what we can. But yeah, guys, that is the build. I also have a mobalytics. Everything is written down there and explained. So if you have any other questions, check the mobalytics. Come to my Twitch channel. Write in the YouTube channel comments. I'll read everything. I reply to what I can. And yeah, hope you have fun. This is everything for today. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all the love and all the subscriptions lately. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much.